Hi everybody, and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. Today I'm going to do my September wrap-up and what's coming up in October update. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about this month is a little bit going on the channel itself. Recently I was looking through some of the stuff in my channel on YouTube, looking at some of the various things that can be done and so forth, and I noticed in the community section in my channel, a person can do polls. So I thought, hey, I'm going to try this out because I'm always asking questions of my viewers and everything. So I thought, maybe I will try out one of these polls and see how it works. So I figured I'd do one and ask everybody's opinions on my channel content, and the question is, which type of videos do you prefer? And the the five categories I submitted, and I'm looking at my screen down here, so pardon me looking away, but the categories are step-by-step, periodic updates, finished models only, inboxed reviews, detailed kit reviews, which includes inbox plus a complete build. So I had 41 people participate in this. Now, keeping in mind that I have a little over 1,800 subscribers. Something that I'm trying to keep in mind here, and to keep in mind about your channel if you have one, and you're in the lower end of the professionalism scale on YouTube videos, like me, even though I have 1,800 subscribers, that doesn't necessarily mean I have 1,800 people watching my videos. People may check in from time to time. Some people have checked just to, get updates and see if there's anything that, grabs their attention. So I'm assuming that it's probably the same way with a lot of YouTube channels, that you may have X amount of subscribers, but out of that X amount of subscribers, you may have a very small portion of those subscribers that watch on a regular basis. Part of that is evident in comments. Like I get comments, I ask for comments all the time, and a lot of the same names pop up for comments, and that doesn't mean somebody needs to leave a comment every time they watch a video, because sometimes it's not necessary. And then looking at my views, I have however many views on a given video. So what I'm saying is, I got 1,800 plus subscribers, 41 people participated in this. Am I discouraged? Am I bummed? No, not at all. I mean, that's way more people than I thought would actually be involved. And what that tells me is the people that frequently view my channel jumped on and voted, kind of let me know what kind of content they want. Okay, a lot of blabbing just to say that. So let's break down the numbers. So for step by step, of those 41 votes, 73% voted for step by step. So that is really cool and encouraging and bewildering at the same time. Bewildering because sometimes I think I ramble a bit on my build videos. I try not to, and I'm trying to get better at it. But I'm pretty stoked. I have often wondered if the step-by-step videos are just like a bit too much, because they can drag on for so long. But that's cool. So I'll do more step-by-step stuff as it comes up. The second category is periodic updates, and that got 12%, which is also cool. So those first two categories, I've actually kind of got it figured out to where that is going to appeal to whoever. In an earlier video in the last month, I believe, I indicated that I was going to change up my build videos, in that not all of them, but for some build videos, I'm going to do step by step and periodic updates. So that means I'll do like step 1 on a kit, and I'll go detailed through every step of the way, and do an assembly, cleanup, talking about what I'm doing, etc. And then after I stack up a couple of those episodes, like say I do 3 detail step-by-step videos, then maybe the next one, what I'll do is do more of an overall update as to where I am on the kit. So I've done 3 videos, step by step for those who want to see it. Then the next video, I'll do more of just a general update and kind of condense all that information into one video, and just basically talk about, okay, these are things I've already done, this is how it looks, this is how it's gone together so far. Kind of give maybe like a little breakdown on how things are going so far. It'll be shorter, obviously, than the step-by-step videos. So that's kind of working out those first 2 categories, step-by-step and periodic updates. I've got the best or worst or mediocrest of worlds there. So there's something for both types of people. Finished models only was the 3rd category, 0 votes. So that's kind of cool. The finished models are at the end of a given series anyway. You know, so if a person just wants to see that only, then they can. Inbox reviews, 0%. That one doesn't really surprise me. It kind of does a little bit, but mainly in that there are so many inbox reviews out there. I mean, you can see 20, reviews on a, Airfix P51 where people talk about the contents of the box. And that's fine, that's great, because it gives you an idea what's in there, how the instructions are laid out, the detail, the parts and all that. But for me, and I've mentioned this in the past, a video for me, I like the inbox reviews and I watch them all the time, but taking it a step further and either building the kit and then talking about how it all went, or doing a build review as you go along, is a little bit more, it's for me, it's a little better. That's the type I like. So that's why I asked that question. If people just want to see me look at the stuff in a box, well, nobody does, so that's cool. Which brings me to my last one, which is detailed kit reviews, which is an inbox plus complete build. Now I got 15% of the votes were for that. So that's kind of cool, and that's kind of what I do anyway. Generally, I'll just kind of open the box and say, here's the stuff. I don't really go into detail about it. Maybe I can get a little bit more into, doing like the first episode is, let's take a look in the box. Here's the instructions, here's the parts, this is my plan for it, blah, blah, blah. So it's more of an inbox review. But that would only be episode 1 of the overall review, whether it be an update type or a step-by-step type. That way you see what's in the box, but then you see how it all goes together. So that was kind of cool. Now, with that all said, what I would like, if any of you watching this took part in that poll, please tell me in the comments below how you even knew there was a poll. I didn't see any place where I could check and say, notify your viewers you did a poll. I didn't see anything like that. I just did the poll and just left it on the community page on my channel. So if you could let me know how you saw that. Maybe people check the community page frequently and that's how they saw it. I don't know. I don't know how that works. So if you could put a comment below and let me know how you even knew that I did this review, I would really appreciate it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is an addition I want to make to my channel. I have my beginner series, and I used to have the mobile updates, which didn't seem to go over that well, so I quit doing those. So I would like to do some content that's a little more periodic. I don't know how often I would do it, maybe once a month. Maybe once every couple months. I don't know. I'll have to see how it goes and see what the feedback is. But what I'm thinking about calling it is Flapjaw Sessions. And basically what that means, for some of you out of the country, out of the U.S., might not know what this means, but Flapjaw means talking incessant talking. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. But it's not just gonna be me sitting here blabbing. What I will do is I will focus my camera on the workstation, on my work area, and I'll work on a model. It may not necessarily be a kit I'm doing for any of my beginners builds, or for group build, or buddy build, or anything like that. It may just be working on one of my kits that I'm working on just for myself, just to build something. And basically work on the kit. You can see me doing my work. It'll be in real time. It won't be edited or anything like that. I'll just turn on the camera and let it go. If I get called away for something, I may pause it and take off and go handle something, and then just come back and start it up and continue going. But I'm thinking of just a basic. It's almost going to be like a streaming video without it being streaming. Now, I have to say that the idea isn't completely original. A lot of people do this kind of thing, but what inspired me to do it is Jim Deck at Shutter Ace. I'll put a link. I think it'll show on this side here. If not, it'll be that side, but I think it's this side. I'll put a link up there to his channel, and you can take a look. He does a live stream once a week whenever he can, and he basically, that's what he does, is he has in the lower part of his screen here, he'll have an inset, like he'll have himself up here, and then he'll change to the desktop here, and his face will be down here in a little inset. I'm not going to be that fancy, just not yet. And he just talks. He has like a lineup of what he wants to talk about, whether it's kits or products or some new stuff that came in, general thoughts on the hobby, whatever. He'll talk about it, and he'll show what he's doing, and I really like those videos. It's real conversational, one-sided, obviously. I mean, he has comments set up, and you can ask questions and stuff like that, and he answers, but his tone is conversational. It's not scripted. It's not practiced or anything like that. He just talks, and I really like that. So I was kind of thinking about doing something like that. Thanks, Jim, for the inspiration to do that. And eventually I may go to a live stream, but it's kind of hard with setting a set time to do that, and being able to come and sit down when I've told everybody I'm going to be at my desk at 8:00 p.m. blah blah blah, and then something has come up and I can't do it. So I'm going to use this format first, and basically I'll work on a kit, and I'll talk about the kit, I'll talk about the products I'm using, techniques, maybe general thoughts on the hobby, some cool things I've seen that are coming up, all the while I'm working. So you can see what I'm doing. Maybe if you have a question about something I'm doing in the video, you can put it in the comments, say, hey, at 5 minutes and 30 seconds you were doing such, why were you doing that? Then I can answer and maybe help somebody out. But it's just something a little bit different, just kind of more of a relaxed atmosphere, not like scripted or regimented video, kind of like this one is. I'm going to have segments and stuff. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. So maybe put your thoughts down in the comments section below and tell me what you think, and I'll give it a try as soon as I can, and see how it works out. So keep an eye peeled for Flapjaw Sessions. Alrighty then, so with that out of the way, let's move on to what is actually on the bench right now. And right now, I am working on the Airfix 1/48 scale North American P51D Mustang, kit number AO5131. So this I am building for the Peter Person tribute build, and you can look back on some of my earlier videos where I talk about it. This is the kit I chose to do, and basically what it is, we're doing a kit in tribute to Peter Person, one of our YouTube pals who had some health issues, some time back, and he's kicked them all. So, just kind of as a a gesture of goodwill toward him. A lot of people are, doing a tribute build of anything Swedish, because that's where Peter Person's from. He's from Sweden. And this case, I'm doing this P51. So here's some things to talk about with the P51. How is that Swedish, you say? Well, it's like this. It's a P51 with Swedish markings. That's what I'm doing. I've only built one other P51 since I got back in the hobby some years back, and that was an old kit that I'd already started back in the 90s. Got that finished, and I haven't built a P51 since. So, first one of those that I've done in a while. Also, this is the first Airfix kit I've ever built in my entire life. So, with that said, so far, so good. This is it so far. Now, if you're following along on my step-by-step build of this, you'll see that this is quite a bit further than my last update. And that's because I'm filming segments, creating episodes, and storing them on my computer and releasing them once a week. I'm trying to get a little bit more periodic in my releases. So my content is a little more regular. It's not, you know, like have 3 or 4 in 1 week and then boom, nothing for a month. I'm trying to stack them up. That way I can release stuff regularly. So anyway, as far as the kit goes, I have to say that I'm really stoked with it. I have never built, as I said, an Airfix kit. And I've heard horror stories about, you know, oh, they're horrible kits, blah, blah, blah. Some of them are awesome, etc., etc. So this one is a relatively new tool, 2017, and it's going together great. I really like the details, really good on it. The fit is really good on it. Some of the concerns people have had with the fit, I haven't really had that much trouble with. I'm very meticulous and slow in building stuff, so I've been able to overcome any of the potential problems. So this kit, really nice. Really enjoying this build. It's coming right along. I have to have this done by the end of December, and you know, that's it. Another thing that's different on this kit than I've done before is Mustangs, all the wing is supposed to be smooth except for I gotta rescribe a panel line, except for removable panels and stuff. The wings are smooth. So that's something else I did. I puttied all the wings and sanded them, and this is a gloss, so you can still see a little bit of scratching, but I think it'll be okay once I get the paint on. We'll see. But anyway, Airfix kit, great. I'm loving it so far, having a really good time. So next up, you may have heard this name mentioned before. His name is Harold Adams, and he is a fellow modeler. And sometime back, I was building for one of my beginner series videos, plastic models for beginners, building from a photograph. And I use a specific photograph of an M10 tank destroyer. So I'm building it, talking about it. So Harold Adams, he sent me this book to help me with some of the details that I was not sure about. And he marked some stuff in here for me pertaining to details I was looking for. As you can see by these little tags, I left them in here. So he sent me this, and I was really stoked. Harold, if you're watching this, thanks again for this book. It's great because I plan on doing more of these in the future because this is a really cool vehicle. But he sent me that, and I was really stoked and very appreciative, and so on. So that brings me to my mail call portion of the video. I get a box. It's from Harold Adams, and this is what he sent. M4A176 Sherman, 76mm Sherman, Asuka. Okay, he knows that I really, really dig Shermans. Sherman is my all-time favorite vehicle. I love it. They're great. There's so many variants a person can build, and Asuka right now is by far my favorite manufacturer of Sherman vehicles. Details great. They build up really well. Just really good kits. So he sent me this kit just out of the blue. So Harold, if you're watching, thanks again for sending this. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to getting started. But not only did he send this, but he sent a bunch of extras with it. And these are they. So first off, he sent master model 30 caliber machine gun barrels, and the barrels and the air-cooled jacket are separate, brass, and they look really super good. So I'll be able to use these to replace the ones on the kit, which is really cool. You know, the Asuka barrels are really nice, but these are just a cut above. I mean, these are really nice. I've used some of this company's products before, and they're really good. So these will be a nice addition to the kit. Then we have the Archer resin casting marks. Now, as you can see, that is some nice looking stuff in there. These are all resin casting marks for the Sherman series of vehicles, and they're made out of resin, so they're all raised detail, and I'll be able to super detail casting marks on these kits, so I can get real crazy and specific on what I want to do. And I've been wanting to try these things forever, and what does he do? He sends them. So that is really cool. So those will be really cool to try out. And then we got a box here. It's a M1A2 barrel, periscope covers, and hull details. So let me crack this open. We'll take a look. Tiger Model Designs, photo etch. So we've got some really awesome stuff here. So let me see if you can see what's in here without me having to open the package. You know, we've got some screen. These right here are just really awesome. You got diesel fuel oil, gasoline, diesel fuel oil, water. Can't quite read that one. I ain't got my specs on. Engine, lubricating oil, just all these details that don't come molded on kits. It's just awesome. So these are going to be great to use, and there's a number of them, so I can use them on probably on a couple of different kits. Headlight guards, which is nice, because those are always a bit thick on the kit, and then some other like latches and stuff like that. So that is really cool. So there's that. These are, I believe, 3D printed periscope guards. So that is really cool. 3D printed stuff is really nice. I've used it before on different things, and man, it looks really good. Those are a nice detail. And then this here, I think he said this was RB barrel, and I've used their products before, and they're really nice. So we got the barrel with the aluminum barrel with the brass muzzle brake, and then photo etch details for the muzzle brake. So that's really nice. So I'm going to be able to really detail this kit up and do a really swinging job on it. So again, Harold, thanks a lot for that. I really appreciate it. Really nice stuff. So that's mail call. All right, so what's coming up next on the bench? This is what it's going to be. That is the Tacom Porsche turret King Tiger. Now let me say right now that I know it's not a Porsche turret. I know that's incorrect. That's what that's not the proper nomenclature, but that's what most people know it as. And even if it is wrong, even the people who know what it should be knows what you're talking about. So get that out of the way. Porsche turret. That's the kit I'm going to work on next. It was a gift from Patrick Schaefer. Thanks, Patrick, again. But that is the kit I'm going to start on next. I'm not going to be doing a full-on build review on that or anything. That's going to be one that I'm going to work on. I may use that for my flap jaw sessions, all that kind of thing. But I'm really looking forward to it. Tacom kits are really nice. I've built one, and I really enjoyed it. And from what I've read, this one is pretty nice as well. Another friend of mine, Keith Short, got me a Zimmerit set for that. So I'll be incorporating that into the build. Thanks again, Keith. Appreciate it. So I will be working on that. Now, that particular kit, I have I have a diorama in mind for that one. It's going to be a very, very simple diorama, nothing complicated, because I'm not a diorama person, at least yet. I never have built a diorama. I've started a few and just not followed through with them for whatever reasons. You know, it's not something I do, but I need to learn and I want to learn. So this will be a good way to get my feet wet, but it's gonna be really simple. And I'll talk about that later when I actually start working on the kit and get near completion. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about products. Okay, I am making a change up in the products that I use. Pretty much the elimination of a category of products. Now, I have to say, first of all, that I know there's a ton of people that get phenomenal results with water-based acrylics. And by water-based acrylics, I mean stuff like Vallejo Model Air or Ammo by MIG. I haven't used these to spray kits. I have pretty much switched 100% for all my spraying needs to Tamiya acrylics. It's a I guess it's a lacquer-based acrylic or whatever, but I like those because even though they are more of a solvent-based acrylic, I use the X28 thinner, so it's ultra low odor. It doesn't create much of a smell, but I get really good results out of it. I don't get good results with water-based acrylics, so I've eliminated these from my lineup except for brush painting. Now, Vallejo Model Air and just regular old Vallejo Model Color, as well as Model Master acrylics. I will use these for brush painting. Now, I like them for brush painting because they're pretty much ready to go out of the bottle, except for the Model Color. They have to be thinned. But I just, you know, in the Model Air, it's ready to go right out of the bottle. I really like it. One of the reasons I quit spraying with these, I just can't get them to work because they skin over too quick in the cup. I get a lot of sputtering and splattering, and it's purely from the paint. You know, I've thinned it, I've used the flow improver, I've tried all these different things, and I think it just, the only thing I think of, it's got to be the climate where I live. I just can't get them to work. There's no moisture trap problems because I don't have a moisture trap. I recently did a video on my CO2 rig that I use for spraying. So, you know, if you want to look through my videos and find it, you can. But, so I don't have moisture problems because I'm using pure CO2 to spray. So, it's just, I just have fits with it. So, long story short, I use Tamiya's and I like them. Okay, brush paint only. The big thing that I'm going to change and eliminate from my modeling diet are water-based acrylic primers. For example, we have the Vallejo Surface Primer, Gloss Black. In this case, it's gloss because I use it as recommended by Vallejo with their acrylic metal colors. And it works really good. It's just spraying this stuff can be frustrating at times. And cleaning my airbrush is a royal pain. This stuff, it skins over. Solvents don't actually dissolve this stuff once it starts curing in your cup. And it just doesn't make a great modeling experience when using this stuff. The final product is really nice. The final result is nice, but getting it there, it's frustrating. So I'm not going to be using that anymore. I'm going to do some experiments with the metal color and see how much of a difference it makes using different primers. Another primer that I really like, but I think I'm going to be eliminating this too. Now, this is a new bottle. That's why it's all separated, so don't freak out and say it's because it's not mixed up properly. Well, that's not it because I haven't used it yet. But is the Stynylrez. Stynylrez made by Badger. Comes in other brands. Ultimate Modeling Products bottles it. I've been told, you know, that the one-shot Ammo by MIG primer is also Stynol Res, just rebottled. I've had a lot of people say it is, and I've had a few people say no, it's not. It's totally different. Whatever. It works the same as that and gives me the same problems. But really good stuff. Now, before anybody also says, you know, well, you're not mixing it up right, blah blah. Yeah, I am mixing it up right. I use a stir stick to make sure there's nothing on the bottom. Then I use this stirring device right here all the way down to the bottom, mix, and then I shake the tarnation out of it. I just like go crazy. So it's getting mixed properly. I've also had people say, well, put it in a pan of hot water before you use it. Well, that's kind of cool, but I didn't see any difference between doing that and just using it straight from the bottle. Again, your mileage may vary. There's a lot of people that don't have problems with this stuff. I do. And I've tried all the advice and stuff. Whatever. I'm done. I just don't like cleaning this from my airbrush. So I am pretty much, once I use up what I've got, or I may just end up giving it away. Yeah, I'm gonna start weaning myself away from the water-based acrylic products. Now, the reason I use them to begin with is because of odor. I do all my modeling in the house, spraying in the house, everything. So I got to keep it low odor. You can't do that with the lacquer-based products. Now, for example, one thing that I want to try spraying soon, and I'm not necessarily saying it's this exact thing, but like, you know, Mr. Surfacer, this is 1000. I think they make a 1200 as well, so it's a little bit finer. But I want to try spraying this type of stuff, but obviously I can't do it in the house because it's lacquer-based, and I would be using something like this, Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. So I can't really do that in the house. So another alternative that I've used in the past with great results, it's just, you know, sometimes it's a pain to go outside and spray the thing, leave it out there to gas off and, you know, the odor to go away, and then bring it back in the house and paint it, is the Tamiya gray primer in the aerosol can. That stuff works great. Really good stuff. It doesn't go on too thick. It layers on really well, and if, you know, a person is decent with aerosol cans of spray paint, you know, it works great. It's not as cost effective as the bottled primers, but, you know, depends on what you're wanting to do in life. So what I'm thinking about doing is trying lacquer-based primers, and I will do that in my other shop. I'm getting to the point now where that is cleaned up and ready to go, and will be convenient to use. And it will also be convenient to use because my CO2 unit that I use is very portable. 5-pound bottle is about 24 inches long, maybe less. So I can grab that, my airbrush, the products I'm going to use, off I go. I can go outside, spray the thing, clean it up, bring my unit back in the house, set it down, just ready for paint when I want to use it. So that is my plan. I'm eliminating water-based acrylics for the airbrush entirely. Paints, primers, clear coats, whatever. It saps some of the enjoyment out of the modeling process for me. So that is my plan. So really, that's pretty much it for the stuff on the bench. Well, there you have it, folks. That's what's going on in the old modeling world. Plastic models, dude. So hope that was, you know, somewhat enjoyable or entertaining or informative or something, but that's what's going on. So stay tuned. As far as all that paint business goes, I've really decided that I'm going to do a full-on like video on my thoughts on acrylics and stuff like that, and do some examples and all that kind of business. You know, just I've been wanting to do it for a while, and after that last little segment here on this video, I think I need to do the whole thing just for fun for me, and hopefully it'll be informative for somebody else. Not to sway anybody's opinion on what products to use, because everybody has their preferences, but that's me. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, that's it for this edition of Plastic Models by a Regular Dude and the September wrap-up and October preview. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hints, tips, or anything else, please put them in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So, as always, thanks for watching Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and I will see you all later.